Today, we're headed to the city of Bath in England to check out one of the most incredible ancient sites anywhere in the world, the Roman Baths. It's a place of absolutely stunning beauty, and it's hiding a pretty dark secret. Just look at this. It's a massive, naturally heated pool with steam rising into the open air, and it's surrounded by gorgeous Roman stonework. I mean, it looks like the most amazing spa you could ever dream of, and it's been sitting here for nearly 2,000 years. But here's the thing. As tempting as that water looks, you are absolutely not allowed to get in. It is strictly forbidden. So what kind of dangerous secret is hiding just beneath the surface? All right, let's get into the full story. We're going to trace it all the way from its origins as a mysterious natural spring, through its glory days as a Roman social hotspot, all the way to the shocking modern discovery that made these waters completely off-limits, forever. You know, to really understand the baths, we have to go back, way back, even before the Romans showed up. The story really kicks off deep underground, with the source of the water itself. So this isn't just any old water. It actually starts as rain on the nearby hills. From there, it takes this incredible journey, seeping thousands of meters down into the earth, where it gets superheated by the planet's natural geothermal energy. All that underground pressure then forces the water back up to the surface, and when it emerges, it's a constant, perfectly toasty 46 degrees Celsius. That's about 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And the amount of water is just mind-blowing. We're not talking about a little trickle here, it's a torrent. Over 1.17 million liters of this hot, mineral-rich water gushes out of the ground every single day. And right here, this is the source. Long before the Romans ever set foot in Britain, ancient Celtic tribes knew this place was something special. They saw it as sacred, and even built a shrine here to honor their goddess of the spring, a deity named Sulis. Then, around the 1st century AD, everything changes. The Romans roll into Britain, they find this one-of-a-kind hot spring, and they immediately see its incredible potential.
Now, the Romans were really clever about this. Instead of just bulldozing the local culture, they blended with it. They named their new town Aquae Sulis, which literally means the waters of Sulis, as a direct shout-out to that Celtic goddess.
But they had a huge engineering problem to solve first. How do you build a massive stone complex on what's basically a swamp? Well, their solution was genius. They drove these enormous oak piles deep down into the mud, creating an incredibly stable foundation that has held this place up for 2 millennia. This comparison really gives you a sense of their ambition. On one side, you've got the model of the original complex. It was this sprawling place with a grand temple and huge vaulted ceilings. Then you see what's left today, and you start to realize just how monumental this place really was.
For a Roman, coming to the baths was a whole ritual. You'd start off in the frigidarium, which was a cold plunge pool. Then you'd move to the warm tepidarium to kind of relax and hang out. And you'd finish in the caldarium, a really hot, steamy bath. It was basically the ancient equivalent of a modern spa day.
But these baths were so much more than just a place to get clean. They were the absolute heart of Aquae Sulis. This was the spot for worship, for gossip, for closing business deals. Everything happened here. And the Romans kept up that cultural fusion with their religion too. They basically identified their own goddess of wisdom, Minerva, with the local goddess Sulis. And this stunning gilded bronze head of Sulis Minerva was actually found right on site. Now check this out. This is one of the site's biggest mysteries. This powerful face greeted everyone who entered the temple. It's got that fierce look of a Gorgon, like Medusa. But Gorgons are female, and this one very clearly has a mustache. The best guess is that it's actually a Celtic water god, but designed to look like a familiar Roman symbol.
You know, it's funny. People's problems really haven't changed that much in 2,000 years. Archaeologists found about 130 of these curse tablets that have been thrown into the spring, and most of them, like this one, are about petty theft. Someone's asking the goddess to punish the person who stole their clothes while they were bathing. It's basically the ancient Roman version of leaving a furious 1-star Yelp review.
The spring wasn't just for curses, though. It was also like a giant wishing well. To get on the goddess's good side, people would toss in all sorts of offerings. Archaeologists have pulled out over 12,000 Roman coins from the bottom, not to mention jewelry and, of course, all those angry curse tablets. But of course, the Roman Empire didn't last forever. And when the Romans pulled out of Britain in the 5th century, the baths went from this incredible, splendid place to total ruin, and then eventually to a pretty surprising rebirth. So for centuries, the site was just abandoned. The amazing Roman buildings flooded, they filled up with mud, and they just crumbled. It wasn't until the Middle Ages that some new baths were built, but it was really during the Georgian and Victorian eras that the city of Bath came roaring back and became the most fashionable spa resort in all of England.
This is what the baths looked like in their Victorian prime. And here's a little secret most people don't realize. Almost everything you see at street level today isn't actually Roman. These grand buildings were put up in the 18th and 19th centuries to cater to all the high society folks of the era.
So people were bathing here for centuries, but all of that came to a very sudden stop. Which brings us right back to our central mystery. Why can't you swim here anymore?
Well, the answer is just tragic. In 1978, a young girl went for a swim in a modern spa nearby that was using water pumped from this exact same ancient spring. Shortly after, she got very sick and, sadly, she passed away. The historic Roman baths were shut down to bathers immediately, and they've been closed ever since.
Scientists ran tests and found a terrifying culprit lurking in that warm, untreated water, Naegleria fowleri. It's a microscopic amoeba, often called the brain-eating amoeba, that thrives in these exact conditions. If it gets up a person's nose, it can travel to the brain with devastating and almost always fatal results. The sacred water the Romans worshipped was in fact naturally deadly.
Today, the Roman baths are a spectacular and completely safe museum, but their story is this powerful reminder that the ancient world is still full of secrets. It really makes you wonder, what other hidden stories and what other hidden dangers are still out there, just waiting to be rediscovered?